I'm doing a beer recipe today by Kegland, and it was kindly donated by Michael Eade. Thank you, Michael. It's a Juice Bigalow NEIPA. If you're interested, stick around. So Michael kindly sent me this free of charge just for me to brew, and he's also an excellent supporter of this whole channel. It's been great having him there. He's been teaching me a lot, and he's also supporting the homebrew group on Facebook. If you guys are interested, check it out. There's a lot of people on there. We're nearly at 1,000 members now, and Michael's pretty much moderating that and looking after it. I'm pretty much in the background nowadays. I'm just too busy with work. But I gave it to him to have a look at, and he just grabbed it and went with it. So today, this Juice Bigalow IPA, or an NEIPA, looks extremely interesting. It's going to be full of flavour. It's got mosaic and other amazing hops in it, and it's mostly dry hopping. And there's no actual brew hop at all, which is, yeah, makes it easy. I'll put a copy of the PDF just here, just so you guys have a look at it, and you can pause the video if you'd like and zoom in, do it if you like. I will leave a link down below so you guys can get access to that. It's also on Grainfather's website as well. I've done a quick recipe on there that I will share with you. I'll leave a link for that as well. So what I've done is I've ground down the grains to 1 millimeter this time, or a bit thicker than a credit card thickness. The 0.8 mil seemed to be a bit too fine. The last video, the Irish Cream Red Ale, the mash seemed to have gotten stuck. It didn't make much difference with the pH, with the alcohol level and the sugar levels. It was fairly efficient anyway, but I didn't like the idea that it got stuck a little bit.
You've been crushing all those grains.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to turn it into beer.
Beer?
Beer. Drinkable beer. So I made it a bit thicker so I can get the flow a bit better. What I'm going to do now is I'll get stuck into it. I have done the salts for my Sparge as well as my Grainfather, so each one has their own measurement of salt in it. Just here you'll see in the video, it's just me measuring it out, popping it in there. So my friends, you are going to have to do your own salts. Your pH in your water in your area is going to be different than mine, so you're going to have to muck around a little bit. The pH is about 5.4, 5.3 would be ideal. Now I'm going to grab my grains and start mashing in. Cheers. So I'm sure you can see, I've got my mash pipe, my little basket filter. The best advice I got from my subscribers was to dust this down with grain dust. Now that is the best way I found to put this into my grain pipe. So I'll do that now. So these are my grains. As you can see, dust is coming up. I've grabbed my grain pipe, and I'm not going to show you, I'm just going to throw it in. I might show you actually. Put it underneath so the actual grains cover the filter, as well as dust the inside of your grain pipe. It'll make a huge difference if you brew with a Grainfather system. So I've dusted inside. I hope you can see that. So what will happen is the grains are so fine, they'll help lube, if you can see what I'm doing here. And basically, if you're pulling in and out, usually when you're trying to do it on bare metal, the silicone gets grippy and it grips to the bare metal. And the problem is, it wants to come off all the time. But if you put a bit of dust on it, what a difference! Look, it's all done. It's all dusted off, ready to go. I'm so wrapped. It used to take me 15 minutes just to get this to go in, and I would never, ever want to do that again. Anyway, that's the only flaw I found with my grandfather system. All right, let's get the basket into the pot. Throw that in. Now, like I said, I put the salts in already. Now there's 21.21 mil of water in there at the moment. That's a recommendation of Kegland's recipe. Now, the grandfather system said 18.7 litres of water. So you choose. I'm doing 21.21 this time, just to see what happens. It might help with the mashing a bit more. Yeah, so you choose what you want to do, and I'll keep going. All right, let's mash it in. It's at 65 degrees Celsius at the moment. And we'll, as you probably can see there, the actual grains are definitely much thicker. So it's going to reduce the amount of dust that's going to fly up too. Now, I'm mashing in a lot more water this time. This is not normally how much water I use a lot less. So we're looking at what, probably 2 to 3 litres more water than usual. So I'm trying new tricks to get this working. Now there's about almost 6 kilograms of grains I'm putting through here at the moment. So, and day's been pretty cool right up to now, and I'm actually well behind. I was supposed to have all this done by now, but I've been so busy with family and doing other things, I haven't had a chance. Oh, it's like porridge, and this is so much more water going through it. It's going to make it so much better to brew this time around. So look at that. That is grain. That grain is mixed through beautifully. I don't need to put rice hulls in that one. I think it looks pretty good about it. I think we're going to have bugger all issues on that one. So now I'll put my basket on. This is I'm proceeding to do stuff that you boys have already seen. I'll dust. Oh, I can't dust it up. I've got nothing to dust it with. Oh, well, we'll just have to do about. So guys, how do you like my new shirt? I found it at a touristy place in Lakes Entrance where I took a break to, and it was glary, it looked good, and I thought, oh wait, this is going to be great for a little a brew channel that I'm doing, so I'm going to keep wearing it and be a little bit more appealing. Oh, not appealing? Be a little bit more out there, I guess, I hope. Anyway, we shall set this up. I'm going to need to let this sit for an hour at 65 degrees Celsius. And run the pump. Nothing in it, good. Turn it off a sec. Just trying to run before I'm ready. So run the pump. And we'll flow. I'll just take the lid off here like this for a sec, just so we know what's going on. Why is that one unscrewing me? Change that. Wants to try and turn on me because the hose is trying to strain itself out of its position. Right, that might be work better. I'll take this out. Then we need the overflow part. You guys, I'm sure, have seen all this before. We'll slow the flow down so we don't compact it too much. And we should have some a real nice flowing grain here by the look of it. So everything seems to be running good. We'll leave that for an hour and we'll come back and start the boil. Okay, something I would love to stress to you guys big time. With brewing, you should always take time to clean up as you go. Don't just leave it all sitting around, because at the end of the day, you're going to be absolutely exhausted because it's going to take some time. From that, what you do is just clean everything as you go. Just put it all away and have it ready. So when you're done, it's only 5 seconds to clean everything up. So it's awesome. Right now, I'm just going to go and get a cup of coffee and just relax and wait for this mash to happen. It's going to take 1 hour, and there's going to be a mash out of 10 minutes at 75 degrees Celsius, and then I'm going to start my sparge. We'll see you soon. All right, we're only a couple of minutes away from sparge. So I'll quickly tell you how I'm doing the sparge. Basically, what happens is you need to rinse your grains once they've mashed. So we've got a 10-minute mash, so the temperature of the grain fibre will increase to 75 degrees Celsius. And from that, once it's finished its mash out, which is 10 minutes, we'll pull the basket out of the grains and then start rinsing them with about 8 litres of 75 degrees Celsius water that has been treated with salts as well. So that will rinse out and get as many sugars as we can out of the grains before we throw the grains on our garden. So what I do, if you can see that, I think it's going to flash a little bit because of the frame rate. But anyway, that's 75 degrees Celsius is a tap. So basically run from the tap over to our grain father and just rinse our grains. Mash out, finish. Mash out's finished. Okay, I'll stop the beep. I need to now lift the basket out and sparge it. So the pump stopped pumping. Last time you saw my video, I didn't close my valve and the pump started pumping for no reason. This time, I'm being super cautious. I'm closing the valve and I'm actually going to let it drain back into itself and take off my hose, just like that. That's finished, so I'll just hang that on there for now. There's our beer. It's not as clear as I thought it would be, but you know, what are you going to do? And you can see the filter's dropped. So that could be because the rubber seal has let go. I need my handle, so grab my handle and I'll hook it on. And we'll lift her out. Ready? And that's flowing beautifully. In the past, I think I might have had a stuck sparge. Didn't get flow that well last time. But look at this. I'm going to dip the finger in. That is sweet. I've got great extraction from it. So what's going to happen while I'm doing the sparge, the grain father will increase the temperature to 99 degrees Celsius just before boiling point. That way, when I'm finished sparging, it'll be almost ready to start boiling. So I'm going to start my sparge. Now I've got 8.7 litres of sparge water to do. Now this is the Kegland recipe. It's different on grain father. They say a different measurement altogether. In the end, it'll work out the same. I can see why I've got a problem. The actual basket moved and dropped, but it didn't affect the grain, so it's okay. We'll start sparging. I think you've seen me do this many times before. I'm going to speed it up, not let you guys suffer through it, and we'll get to the point where we start boiling. See you soon. Well, it's beeping away now. I need to cool it down and transfer it to my fermenter. Now my fermenter is a pressure fermenter. It's a all-rounder. I filled it with a sanitizer, but I'm not going to pressure ferment it until about day 5 when the fermentation reduces a little bit, just to keep the apparently there's meant to be some bad flavors that come through pressure fermenting at the start of fermenting. So right now I've set my system up. I've set up a cooling system. It's just going to cool the water down. So before I cool it down, I'm going to throw in 100 grams of Magnum. It doesn't say how long to do it. It just says to throw it in at the end of oil. That's what I'm going to do. I'll leave it there. Maybe cool it down and let it cool for about, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe, and see how we go. Now, Magnum is a very strong hop. I have to interject here, sorry guys. I just realised, looking at this video and as I was editing it, I realised I put in Magnum, not Mosaic. So I put 100 grams of Magnum in, which I wasn't supposed to do. So Mosaic was meant to go in, but nonetheless, it comes out great. So what are you going to do? All right, back to the video. Oh, whew, that smell is awesome. Look, I'll show you. That's our Magnum. Beautiful. Yeah, it smells really good. I'm going to throw it in. It's going to add to bitterness as well as scent and smell. So that's in. I didn't film it, sorry, but I'll film the rest of it later. So it's in there, end of boil. It's just going to sit there for about 10 minutes and just relax. So cheers. So we just did the transfer to the fermenter and it looks cloudy. It's going to be cloudy. It's a bright looking thing. It came up as 1.05859 and that's about what target we were after. So really happy with that. The dry hop stage, which will be about, day 5, day 6 maybe, there's 200 grams of hops going in halfway through fermentation. So it's going to be an interesting brew. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to add the yeast now and I'm not going to film it. You guys have seen me film this before, so you don't need to watch. I'll throw that in dry. I'm using American East Coast Ale yeast. I'll show you a picture of that. And it's going to be good, I hope. It says gluten-free, I just realised. It's gluten-free. So I'll throw that in and we'll get stuck into it. I'll see you when we're adding our 200 grams of hops. Cheers guys, we'll see you soon. All right, we're back. It's a dry hop edition. We're experimenting with this. Basically, it says in the instructions to just experiment if you want. They pretty much say wait till day 5, day 6 when it's pretty much almost finished fermenting. And I'm going to pressure ferment after I drop these in. So I'm going to put a pressure airlock on and I'm going to make sure that it's going to be pressured and hopefully we'll get a bit of carbonation in it as well, so we don't have to try and use too much gas. So what we're putting in today is 100 grams of Citra and 100 grams of Mosaic. I first have to get this lid off, so I'll take this valve off, allow this to pressurize just a smidge so that the pressure will help me pop the lid. And in the meantime, I've got to get some sanitizer. You can see my other thing bubbling away. That's just an experiment gone wrong. So the reason why I got my sanitizer is so that when I work around a half fermented product, I don't want new bacteria getting in, so I'm going to just go. Now I might just take the jacket off for a sec, just to show you guys what it looks like. There you go, it's nice and cloudy. You can see the hops already building up around the sides. Now this should have built up enough now that I can remove the lid, hopefully. Take it too hard. Built it up with enough pressure, we can pop it. It's hard to pop the lid. There we go. There we got it. Okay. We'll spray the packets, so 100. I just want to make sure that, you know, your bacteria that might be on these packets will be okay. I'll open it up. There is usually a tear point, but this one doesn't have one. Oh, it does. It's on the bottom. Oh, that's handy. It's right there. I'm going to have to use scissors. Spray the scissors so we don't get bacteria in our beer as well. Now it is becoming beer. So the lid's loose. I'm going to cut it right through the top here because we're using the whole lot. Let's open the pack, eh? There's some gas in. Oh, there we go. Look at that, shall you? Look at that. Oh, strong smell. I'll just break it up in there. So I'm quickly going to just pour it in. And then we're going to do the second one. That was Citra. This is Mosaic. We'll do the same thing. Cut the top. I know you guys can't really see that. let the air in. And this is Mosaic. Have a strong smell, and it goes in as well, just like that. Now, I'm not going to expose it to too much oxygen. I'm going to just stir it a little bit, just shake it around, just to get the hops in through the beer like that. Screw the lid back down. That's our hop addition done. I'm now going to put an airlock on this, a pressure controlled airlock at 12 psi, recommended again by the Kegland. So we'll proceed to the next stage. I'll cover this back up with my t-shirt, and we'll see you in the next part. See ya. So what I'm doing here, guys, is just transferring sanitizer out of my keg into my other fermenter that I haven't used for a little while. That's getting a good clean out this week, so I can use it next time. Just so you guys can see what I've done. I've actually resealed the keg at the moment, put new seals on each end, new rubber seals and everything else all around. It needed it, it was getting pretty bad. So now we'll finish that off, and we'll go transfer some Juice Bigalow beer, and we'll give it a tasting as well. Alright, here we go. Alright, you ready for it? This is a Juice Bigalow. It's just a Juice Bigalow from Kegland, and they sent it to me through Michael Eade, and he was kind enough to just send it to me free of charge, just to give me a gift. He's just a good bloke, and he's been supporting this channel, and thank you, Michael Eade. You're a great bloke. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. So I'm about to taste it. Now, as you can see, it's not fully carbonated yet, but it's fresh from the fermenter. Nice and cloudy. That's just a nice fresh cloudiness. They've got a nice little head on there that's retaining, so that's not a bad thing either. 200 grams of amazing smelling hops. Now ready? I'm smelling pineapple, not yeast, no yeast at all. I'm smelling a, really just tastes or smells professionally made. It will probably need about a week, 2 weeks maybe, maybe 3 to age a little, and I reckon it's going to have a bit of a hop burn happening. So the hop burn is like a bitterness that's not going to be there in 2 or 3 weeks time. So cheers guys, we'll see how it tastes. It's not heavily carbonated, but it's carbonated nonetheless. Whoa! Oh wow! Hang on. That's chock-a-block full of flavour. What am I getting? I'm getting apple. Just a small amount of apple. It's more like the feel of apple. Pineapple. I'm looking forward to having this one. It's really nice. It's good. And this is just the beginning. Imagine what it tastes like in 2 weeks' time. The percentage is... I can't remember what, I think it's 6%. I'll put a piece up here to show what the actual percentage and what the final gravity turned out to be. That's really nice. It's got a mango. There we go. Mango. Really. What is it? What do they call that? You know, when you get a processor, throw the mango in, throw apple in. I know it's a weird way of saying or explaining things, and a couple other things like I nearly had it. It's gritty. It's a fruit. Rock melon. Rock melon is what I'm getting as well. That is very nice. Thank you, Michael Eade. This is a brilliant buy. It's a brilliant beer. I'm sure it would even get better. There isn't any hop in. The bitterness is only mild. It's not huge at all. It's quite nice. I'm very happy with it. Okay. Well, I hope you like this video, guys. I try my best to present it as best I can. I make and edit all these videos myself. I have no help from anyone, and I'm learning as I go, and I'm learning because of you. You guys always acknowledge my videos and say how good they are and how much and how informative they are, and I really appreciate that. So give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know what you think. Give us a comment down below and tell me what you think I should do better, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Alright, something at the end of this video. I'm just showing you where I dump my rat waste, and now there's a lot of yeast and a lot of hops, and I'll just throw it in my garden. My garden's a bit of a mess at the moment, so I'll just